Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I am your host, Kevin, with another episode of Top 5s for AngrySnowboarder.com. This is the only weekly Top 5 snowboard show on the internet. Today we're going to be doing Top 5 beginner boards. I apologize, Avran couldn't be here. His toe inflated. I don't know what it is, and I'm scared. It smells terrible. Alright, starting off this beginner board list with number 5, and that is the GNU Hayak. It's been in the line for, I think 2019 is the second year of this board, and for 2019 they're also giving it a cool little bit updated tip shape to it, so it's got a little bit of a chop in the tail, a little bit of a pointier nose. And basically it's BTX, so it's their rocker between the feet, flat underfoot all the way through the contacts, and mag. So super basic board. It's really easy to ride because it is that basic full rocker. It does have the mag traction, so it's not going to wash out on you like crazy. And it has the right amount of stiffness to it that it's not a complete useless noodle like escaping out. It rides great. It's actually something that I had a ton of fun on. And to say that about a BTX LibTech, actually that's the first time I've said that about a BTX Mervin in general, LibTech or GNU. And it rides really good. So GNU Hayak, it's a great start-off board. It's got a cool shape so you can stay with the trends and be cool out there. And there's actually some pros riding it, so you're going to look cool doing that too. Moving right along here to number 4, and that is the Jones Explorer. Now, this is still definitely what I would consider a beginner board, entry-level intermediate, but definitely the type of board where if that's the kind of riding you want to do is more free ride, more all-mountain, this is a great board to get to start out on. It's easy enough to ride that you're not going to get put down on it. It's not going to ride you. You're going to be able to ride it well enough, and then as you get better, it's still a super fun board to ride. Bigger nose, shorter tail, camber between the feet, rocker nose, rocker tail, so it's going to float great when you do get into deep snow. If that's the kind of riding you're really shooting for, this board's going to help you. It's going to help you get there. It's going to help you get better in that style of snowboarding and that kind of terrain. So check out the Jones Explorer. It's a great entry into the kind of all-mountain freeride category. All right, getting into the middle here, this is the Arbor Formula. Formula's got Arbor's system rocker to it. So it's a parabolic rocker that starts from the center all the way through the contact points. And when loaded, you've got about 3 millimeters of lift at your contact points. Now, one of the best parts about this whole rocker system that Arbor does for you is grip tech. So that's their side cut that adds those bumps right at your feet. And unlike pretty much every other bump out in the industry, these ones are not artificial. They're not forced into the side cut. It's the natural transition in between the side cut between your feet and the side cut outside your feet. They allow that transition to be abrupt as it wants to be instead of smoothing it out using fancy math. And what it allows to happen is it allows you to drive the snowboard right at your feet. And that's part of what makes this board such a great board for somebody getting into the sport, is that full rocker makes the board super catch-free, super easy to ride. And having that grip tech so you can steer directly at your feet makes the board super easy to control and turn. It also adds a little bit of benefit where it grips. That's where you get the name grip tech from. You've got an extra contact point right at your feet. So you come across a hard pack section when you're coming from something that was just a little bit softer snow, it's not going to catch you quite as off guard. It's going to be easier to stay up on your feet, and that builds confidence. And as you get more confident, you start going faster. And then the formula's not a noodle. It's not like a super crazy, like awful soft beginner board. It's something that, somebody like me, yeah, it wouldn't be, something that I would choose for myself, and it would lack a little bit for somebody like me. But all the way through a solid intermediate level rider, it's going to hold up. So as you're starting out, first snowboard, it's going to carry you. It's going to get you in that intermediate section. And then once you kind of figure out what real, more kind of defined style of snowboard you want, then you can move on from it. Getting right along here to number 2. This is the K2 ray gun. Flat between the feet, rocker nose, rocker tail. A little bit more rocker in the nose than the tail, so it keeps a little bit more of a directional feel, which for beginners is actually a benefit. It helps you keep your nose pointed down the hill instead of it feeling too even between your feet. So, that's a benefit. So you need to pick a foot, stick with it. So getting on something that's a little bit of a directional shape or a directional camber profile is going to help you keep that foot you picked going downhill. So ray gun, it's mid-flex, it's not super soft, it's definitely not stiff, it is super easy to ride, and a lot like that formula that I just talked about, it's the type of board you can put a beginner on and it's going to carry them all the way through intermediate. And then this one even kind of goes beyond that. And while, again, for my style of riding, it's maybe not quite there, if that was the only board I could grab, I could still have fun on it every single day in every condition. And that says a lot about a board that you can put a first timer on and then somebody like me, and I can still have a good time on that. All right, before we get on to number one, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions. These guys are great boards to start out on, not quite in my top 5, but still awesome boards. Starting off with the Salomon Sleepwalker. This is basically OG Villain with a downgraded base, and that's what makes this board so good, is the OG Villain was amazing, and then Salomon kept tinkering with that board, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and now it basically sucks. So Sleepwalker is basically the OG Villain, and that board was rad. Next, for honorable mentions, is the Rome Blackjack. It actually got one of Avran's top 5 picks for a jib deck. And a lot of the things that make a good jib board make a great beginner board. So Blackjack makes it on the list as an honorable mention. Alright, you made it all the way through the 4 and the honorable mentions, and you made it to number 1. And that number 1 is the Yes Basic. I've already talked about this in a couple other videos, I think, and for good reason. It's a phenomenal snowboard. It's something that sits at a perfect price point for somebody to get into. It's great as a first snowboard. It's easy to ride. It's got good grip to it on hardpack. Camber between the feet, rocker nose and tail, twin shape. It's super versatile. You can ride it just about anywhere, and this is the type of board that when you get on as a beginner, it's not going to ride you. It's going to carry you all the way through the intermediate stage, and then when it gets to somebody like me, I can still grab that board, and that could be my only board. I can ride that in park. It carves great. It floats good. I can ride steeps on it. It literally does everything really pretty dang well. So for one board to get on that you don't want to have to upgrade for the next decade, this is my number 1 pick, is the Yes Basic. Get on it, rip it, take it to the next year, the year after, and the year after that. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. This is in my top 5 episode of beginner boards. Did I miss one? Did I miss your favorite board that you started out on? If I did, cool. That sucks for you. I still didn't mention it. Still not going to, but you can yell at me for it in the comments. You won't. You won't. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell. Make sure you get notifications that these videos are actually happening, and then you can come watch them. Watching them is better than not watching them. And check out Angry Snowboarder VIP. It's a great way to support this channel and Angry Snowboarder and keep all these projects coming to you.